Olá, pessoal do Smart City Talks! Agora vocês vão conferir a primeira entrevista da série que eu gravei durante o Smart City Expo Curitiba, que foi com o diretor do MIT Sensible Lab, o professor Carlo Ratti. Eu esperei 3 anos para conseguir organizar a gravação dessa entrevista e acredito que o conteúdo dela vai ser muito produtivo para todos que querem trabalhar com cidades inteligentes. E para você que não fala inglês, não fica preocupado, que a entrevista está toda legendada em português e eu também vou colocar no box de descrição alguns links, algumas referências do que ele fala na entrevista sobre os próximos passos para uma Smart City. Fiquem ligados, confiram, espero que vocês gostem. Hello everyone, I'm here with Professor Carlo Ratti, who is director of MIT Sensible Lab, and Carlo Ratti Associati. So, Professor, thank you very much to be here with us and to share your knowledge. So, I'd like to ask you, as you are director of Sensible Lab and I researcher at the Programmable City Lab, what is the difference between a sensible city and a smart city?
Look, I would say, the key principle behind is very similar. It's about the convergence of digital and physical in our cities. It's about, the internet becoming Internet of Things. But we like more sensible city because it gives more the idea of a city that focuses on citizens and not on technology. A city that's able to sense, but also sensible.
Mm-hmm. More about like smart people and smart citizens.
Correct, yeah.
Great. And as we are in an event in South America, I would like to ask you, what is like the characteristics from South America smart cities that can be an example for other smart cities projects around the world?
Look, I think, urban innovation is very interesting because it changes from place to place. I think here we're in a place that, a few decades ago has done a lot of innovation in Curitiba about, mobility. That many cities across the planet have been copying. So it's very important that we allow cities as developing as platforms for innovation where we can test out new things and then, those things can then evolve and being applied in other cities.
Great. More as a platform where we...
I would say the city is a platform for innovation, yes.
Okay. And also because we talk about a lot of smart people projects, so what do you think about like when we talk about inclusion, about women participation in tech projects, how women working with tech projects can enhance smart cities actions?
You're totally right. When you look at it, inclusion is very, very important. And I would say the following, that every technology usually starts somewhere. So at the beginning, every technology is a bit divisive, it increases the divide. So it's up to us to really to plan from the beginning how the technology is going to be deployed in order to close the gap later. So I think that's what I would say is the most important.
Okay, yeah, because here in South America, we have a huge gap.
Correct,
between the social difference.
So I think you want to make sure that your technology then has the technology you plan it. As I say, every technology at the beginning is divisive because only few people have it. But you want to plan it down the line in a way you can close the gap. And we've seen beautiful things about, for instance, smartphones and mobile phones and apps that people have been using in order to close the gaps. So I think that's very important.
Okay, great. And also because we are talking about like projects, do you have any authors, any reference that you think that are important to study about smart cities?
No, I think there's many references, a lot of experimentation. I would say, today, if I think about Curitiba, I think, and most certainly in Brazil, I think you're looking at traffic and how traffic is going to be revolutionized with new mobility systems such as self-driving would be very important. I think also, we're looking about new ways of living and working. Also, thinking about, about Brazil, also about we didn't talk about it today at the conference, but it's about also digitization and university. So I think, new ways of making knowledge accessible to people is another very important topic that's changing. It's very transformative. It's what is called MOOCs, massive online courses. So I think, the combination of looking at these aspects, I think would be very interesting in order to think about tomorrow's cities in Brazil.
More shareable platforms about knowledge and can mix together the universities and the knowledge like this.
Correct. There's more and more of this. It's called MOOCs in particular. So it's about digital platforms so that everybody can go online and take courses. So I think that can radically change, for instance, the notion of a university. And I think that would be very interesting to explore at the urban scale.
Okay, great. So as we're talking about knowledge, what do you think is going to be like the future steps for a smart city? Because I watched some of your lectures. You talk a lot
about like digital for physical places and also mixing the nature and offices. So what are going to be like the future steps?
I think I think the future is to look at new urban experiences that use technology. So how to use not to focus on the technology, but to focus on the quality of life of people inside. And then that's when it becomes interesting, because then you can look at new ways of working. You can look at being closer to nature. All of these things are and then the ultimate goal. Technology is only an enabler.
Okay, great. A tool to reach those places. Okay, great. So, because we are talking about like researchers, I would like to ask you an advice for young urbans, people who want to work with smart cities projects.
I think the key advice I would give is don't focus on one. Focus on many of them. If you just focus on the discipline of planning today, most likely you will still be what we are teaching in planning schools is still something that comes from the 20th century. If you want to explore these new spaces, it's really about putting together both the physical component, the planning as we know it, is put together the technology side, and also the social sciences to see how this is going to affect people. So I think really try to develop what we sometimes call a T-shaped kind of education. Try to follow that T, because you need to go in depth about something, but be able to span across the other disciplines, in particular technology and the social sciences.
Great. So, Professor, thank you very much
Thanks
for your time, for sharing knowledge.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, if you like this interview, subscribe the channel, share this interview, and let's make the cities smarter. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you again.
Thank you.
Bye.